All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today. It's this idea called the ghost architect. Basically, how you can make a serious impact and serious money in the digital world without ever having to be famous. So it all kicks off with this really powerful idea. By 2026, the most valuable thing on the planet won't be gold, it won't be oil, it's going to be human attention. I mean, just think about it for a second. Everything, every app, every ad, every show is fighting for a slice of your time. This isn't just some passing trend, it's literally the new economy. And you know what that means, right? Wherever you find a resource that valuable, you're going to find a huge opportunity. But here's the kicker, the big secret. Every single business out there needs attention to stay alive. The problem is, the people at the top, the CEOs, the founders, they're just swamped. They're way too busy running the actual company to figure out the latest TikTok trend or write the perfect viral post. And that creates this enormous gap in the market. And that gap right there is exactly where our story really gets going. It's this perfect opening for someone who gets how attention works, but maybe, just maybe, doesn't want to be the face of the brand themselves. So let me introduce you to this concept, the ghost architect. Now, this is not about being an influencer, okay? It's not about building some massive personal brand. No, it's about being the brains behind the operation. The person in the shadows who actually knows how to get results for the people who already have the money in the audience. It's all about skill, not fame. Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, we're going to break it down. I've got 3 specific, super high-value roles you can step into right now to become a ghost architect. All right, role number 1, the UGC Faceless Creator. UGC, if you haven't heard the term, just means user-generated content. And here's why this is so huge right now. Brands are desperate for content that feels real, authentic, not like some slick, overproduced commercial. And the absolute best part? You never, ever have to show your face. Okay, so here's the game plan. It's super simple. You film basic videos. Maybe it's just your hands unboxing a new gadget or your voice talking over a screen recording of an app. And get this, brands will pay you, we're talking $150 to $500 per video, just to use that content in their ads. You don't even have to post it on your own channels. And this is so key. You're selling an asset, the video itself, not your identity. You get to stay completely anonymous. Okay, let's jump into role number 2. I love this one. It's called the short-form surgeon. Think about it. Every long podcast, every hour-long YouTube video is just packed with gold. It's a gold mine of little viral moments waiting to be discovered. But the creators, they're way too busy making the next big thing. That's your cue. That's where you step in. So your job is to be the surgeon. You scrub in, you go into that 60-minute interview, and you expertly pull out, say, the 3 most powerful 30-second clips. You slap on some captions and boom, you've just created pure gold. But here's the real power move. You charge for results, not for your hours. Imagine walking up to a client and saying, look, if I don't get you 100,000 views this month, you owe me nothing. How confident does that sound? And honestly, with all the AI editing tools out there now, delivering on that promise is easier than it's ever been. And this right here, this brings us to a really cool idea. You're not just a video editor anymore. You're what you could call an efficiency arbitrager. Let me explain what that means. You're basically using tech to take a job that used to take like 5 hours, and you're doing it in 20 minutes. And the best part? You get to pocket the difference in value. That's arbitrage. All right, our third and final role. This one is for the big leagues. We're talking about the ghostwriter for executives. Just think about it for a second. The top founders, the big shot CEOs, they all know they need a killer personal brand on places like LinkedIn or X. But their time, it's their most valuable asset. They have literally 0 time to sit down and write. The strategy here is brilliant in its simplicity. You just get them on a call for 30 minutes, once a week. You ask them questions, you pull out their best ideas, their stories, and then you spin that single conversation into a whole week's worth of amazing posts. The money is serious. We're talking retainers of $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000 a month for one client. But the real win, you get to borrow their credibility. You're building your own reputation on their authority. It's like getting paid to get a PhD in business from the very best. Okay, so we've talked about 3 pretty different roles, right? The creator, the editor, the writer. But underneath it all, they're all powered by the exact same principle. There's a master key that makes all of this work, and that's what we're going to unlock next. Here it is. This is the big idea. If you want to make serious money, you have to stop solving cheap problems. You need to focus on solving a high-ticket problem.
It's all about a mindset shift. You stop being a task doer and you start becoming a solution provider, a problem solver for things that really matter to a business.
Let's make this super clear with an example. A low-ticket task is offering, hey, I'll post on Instagram for you. I mean, anyone can do that. You're easily replaceable. Now compare that to a high-ticket system. That's when you say, I'm going to build you a machine that takes your 1-hour podcast and turns it into 20 viral clips that actually bring in customers. You see the difference? It's huge. One is a chore, the other is a money-making engine. And guess what? That massive difference in value, it shows up right on the invoice. That simple task, maybe you get a few $100 for it. But that system? Oh, that starts at $2,000 and goes up from there. You're playing a completely different game. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Always, always, look for the system, not the task. Every single time you think about offering a service, ask yourself that question. Am I just doing a task or am I building a system? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to determine your entire career trajectory.
And this really gets to the heart of what it means to be a ghost architect. You know, the loudest people on the internet are very rarely the richest. The real money, the real influence, that belongs to the people behind the scenes, pulling the levers, the ones who get how it all works. You don't need to be the star, you just need to be the architect.
So let's wrap this up with a question for you. I want you to really think about this. Of these 3 roles we talked about, which one feels like you? Do you see yourself as the visual creator, the systems editor, or the strategic writer? Figure out which one clicks. Because once you know your archetype, you've already taken the first and most important step.